Hello, Steeler Nation, and welcome to the latest episode of your Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate with me, Pittsburgh Owen, your voice from across the pond, speaking to you here in the UK. So, guys, Mitch Trubisky, is he already QB1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Is this already set in stone at the end of OTAs and minicamp, or is it still too soon to say it? Is there still a long way to go in this process? Who knows, guys? Who knows? So, let's think about Mitch Trubisky, shall we, for a moment? Now, I've seen some pretty awful stuff written by Steelers fans, really talking down Mitch Trubisky, which I think, as a Steelers fan, that's not something we should be doing. This guy's probably going to be our QB1. And I think whatever negativity there is towards him from his time in Chicago has to be caveated, has to be put a health warning on, for a few reasons. Number one, he was picked by John Fox, who was the head coach at Chicago at the time, who then was sacked and replaced by Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy is an awful head coach and an awful offensive coordinator. He is just garbage. And he really couldn't use Mitchell the way he was supposed to be used. He tried to turn Trubisky into a pocket passer, something Trubisky just isn't. He's a mobile quarterback. If you look at his game tape from North Carolina, you look at his scouting report coming out of North Carolina, he's very much described as being that mobile quarterback. It's the sort of thing the Steelers need for the Canada system. And also, you look, Matt Nagy nearly was ruining Justin Fields, and that's another reason why the Bears got rid of him. So I think you've got to put that caveat on there. The way he was used in Chicago as well, very much a dink and dunk passing style. A lot of what he did was had to go through Cohen, had to go through Montgomery, had to run the ball. It wasn't really a passing based offense. They weren't a high point scoring offense. Yes, I know they had Allen Robinson and Anthony Miller, but they did not have a major number of weapons on that offense. And the Bears largely succeeded on the fact that they had such an awesome defense. So when the Steelers signed him, he was the highest ranked free agent out there at quarterback, arguably, obviously, that could be picked up. And the Steelers went out there and signed him. I think sending a clear signal that they obviously saw him as being a key member of their quarterback room this year and someone they probably were looking at to start even ahead of anyone they were going to draft. Now, obviously, I read the other day that Mitchell Trubisky wasn't aware that a quarterback was going to be drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. He wasn't told, but I suppose the organization don't have to tell the players everything. But Mitch has gone in with the right attitude. He hasn't sulked about it. He hasn't got down about it. He hasn't taken swipes at anybody. He has very much borne no ill will towards Kenny. He's worked with Kenny. He's worked alongside Kenny. He's been a bit of a role model for Kenny. He's been a mentor for Kenny. These are all things that Kenny Pickett himself has said about Mitchell Trubisky. If you look at what Mitchell Trubisky said as well about being a Pittsburgh Steeler, he said the following when interviewed. He said that, there we go. He said, I just feel very fortunate and lucky that I landed here in Pittsburgh, Trubisky offered, unsolicited after a minicamp practice session Thursday. I am happy to be here with these guys and this team, the coaching staff and everyone, including the city and the fans. So I feel like I'm in a very fortunate situation. I'm excited for this opportunity. So he's very positive frame of mind. And it's well known that in sports psychology, when players have a very positive sense of worth, a positive sense of mind about where they are, what they're doing, they perform that much better. And Mitchell Trubisky clearly has that confidence, that moxie, that bit of a swagger about him now. Now he is seen in Pittsburgh as being the QB1. I think that he is potentially going to be a very good starter this year for the Pittsburgh Steelers and for Kenny Pickett to learn from. I think he said as well that he talked about the fact that he was a bit upset that they were going to have 7 weeks off. Now he wanted to continue to practice, clearly showing his dedication to his new job. There's 7 weeks off now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The next first preseason game isn't for over 2 months, and the regular season doesn't start till September the 11th. Obviously, a very noteworthy date in our calendars. His teammates are also very positive about him and very positive about what Mitch brings to the team. Chase Claypool said he's an awesome guy. Starting wide receiver Chase Claypool said he's easy to get along with, easy to talk to, and he's forgiving in terms of if you make a mistake, he doesn't really care. He moves on to the next play. And that was something that Trubisky used to do in Chicago. He very much hung on to the mistakes that he made or his teammates made. That's something that he learned in Buffalo that he has to let go of, that Brian Daboll, Ken Dorsey, and Josh Allen taught him. He always comes into the building with a smile on his face and he's never in a bad mood. It's just easier to get along with him and understand who he is as a person. So, clearly they're a very positive reference on Mitch Trubisky from Chase Claypool. As well, you listen to what Mike Sullivan says about him, about his, excellent understanding of the RPO, excellent understanding of play action, his excellent relationship with the rest of the offense. He hosted that training session, that get together down in Florida, where unfortunately Dwayne Haskins passed away. Bless him, God rest his soul. And he was, establishing himself as a leader. Then he's come back to OTAs, to minicamp, and he's worked with the players, and the players are responding to him and responding to his leadership. He's building himself that leadership role as a QB1, a true QB1 should. Through all this time in OTAs and minicamp, I've heard nothing but positives about him from the coaching staff, from his own players, from the journalists as well, when they are allowed to report on what they heard or what they've seen or what they've been told, and sessions where they were allowed to report on what was seen. He hasn't moved at all from the first team reps during the OTAs and during the mini camp as well. It seems like the order has very much been what is on this photograph during the OTAs and mini camp, with Mitch Trubisky as QB1, Mason Rudolph as QB2, Kenny Pickett as QB3, and Chris Oladukan as QB4. It is felt, however, by many that order may switch around as we go into training camp, when Mason moves down to QB3 and Kenny moves up to QB2. Mitch is working exceptionally hard. He's learning the offense. And what is beneficial as well is the fact that the Buffalo offense is very similar to the Canada system. I listened to a podcast by someone called Jeffrey Benedict, who knows his X's and O's. And he was telling me, telling everyone, actually, not just me, but he was telling everyone that was listening that the Buffalo system is so similar in the way it works to the Canada system. It's about pre-snap motion, it's about RPOs, it's about movement, it's about using the tight ends, it's about establishing a run game, it's about long passing, it's about all those things the Canada system seeks to do. And Mitch learned that system. So hopefully it's not going to be as big a jump moving him from the Buffalo system to the Pittsburgh system. He brings to the Pittsburgh system, to the Canada system, exactly what it needs to succeed: mobility, ability to extend plays, the ability to pass deep, the ability to pass over the middle, all things that seem to be lacking in the last couple of years of Ben Roethlisberger's tenure as our franchise quarterback. Certainly the movement, the deep passing, and the passing over the middle was something that became non-existent pretty much in 2021. Mitch Trubisky is very comfortable with doing that. Moreover, he has built up an excellent relationship already with George Pickens and Pat Freiermuth, which stands us in good stead for the season going in, because Pickens, I think, will have an awesome season this year, and Freiermuth, I think, will be one of the top targets, and again, will have an awesome year this coming season. Furthermore, Trubisky is a 5-year vet, and I think to put Pickett straight in there at the start may be considered a mistake, especially if you consider in the first 8 weeks, the Steelers have some exceptionally tough games. Looking at those first 8 weeks, 6 out of those 8 teams I expect to be contending at the end of the season for a playoff spot. 2 out of the first 3 weeks, it's a divisional game, both away from Heinz Field, one at First Energy Field and one at Paul Brown Stadium. They're going to be cauldrons. They hate the Steelers. They're going to be baying for blood. That's when you need an experienced quarterback with a calm head who's used to that atmosphere. Remember, Mitch played in the AFC North. He played for the Bears-Packers games, Bears-Vikings games, Bears-Lions games. That rivalry there, very similar to the AFC North rivalries. So again, the intensity, the noise, the pressure, he's used to it from the NFC North. So I think for those first 8 weeks, they're a time to really put Mitch in and give him a chance to prove himself as the Steelers QB1 for this season. If those first 8 weeks don't go so well, then that's when you move Kenny Pickett in, because week 9 is the bye week. And it gives the Steelers an extra week to work on changing the offense over. But I don't think there'll be any need to do that. If you look at those first 8 weeks, at the Bengals, week 1, Patriots week 2, the Cleveland away at Cleveland week 3, then the Jets come to Heinz Field, then the Bills away, AFC favorites. The Bucks, Tom Brady, again, a tough game. The Dolphins, who I think are going to have a good season this season. And the Eagles, again, who've tooled up as well. So their first 8 weeks are really tough. And I think that's when you need a veteran, experienced quarterback like Mitch Trubisky, who can come in and do the job for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Guys, if you're a Steeler fan, don't talk Mitch down. Let's get behind Mitch. I think he's going to be the QB1. I think it's 95, 96% certain this guy will be our QB1 week 1. Let's get behind Mitch and let's see that Mitch magic. Well, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below about Mitch Trubisky as QB1. Let me know what you think about the content. Let me know anything you want to know about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Thank you for listening. Hit that subscribe button. Join the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate family. We are a massively fast-growing channel. We are a Steelers channel run by Steelers fans for Steelers fans who doesn't chat rubbish. Thanks for listening, guys. Here we go, Steelers. Come on.